We are in Japan this weekend. Big shout out to Paul in the super chat. Big shout out to Racer X210 checking in. What's going on, Paul? Paul says excited to see what this race weekend brings for Ferrari. Let's go, LH. K1 K1 button available. Hey man, we'll see. We will see. Hopefully some things, but I will say this. It seemed a little bit discouraging. I don't want to say discouraging. It seemed a little bit alarming from some things that I heard from Charles Leclerc during the driver press conferences. You know, they have 2 sessions leading into the week. And we were already a bit concerned coming off the back of China, but there were a few high moments by Ferrari and Lewis Hamilton. Definitely Lewis Hamilton polling for the sprint race. Definitely Lewis Hamilton leading and winning the sprint race. And then we knew Ferrari made some changes, and then those changes led to a decrease in performance, but by a tenth or so with Lewis Hamilton. But the increase they would have needed had they stayed still would have been at least by another 0.2 to keep up with the top 3 in that qualifying session. But let's go into what Charles said, because I got a clip right here that we're going to play. What's up, Lord Chaos? What's up, Dave's Quattro? Paul, man, you first in here. Smash the like button. Hope everyone is having a great day. Peace and love. Let's go into this clip real quick.
It's not about how hard it is to extract the maximum performance out of the car. It's just that there's not enough performance in the car for now.
Now, that to me is different. If a driver says that there's performance there and I just have to find out how to unlock it, there's performance in the car, I'm still working on how to extract it. There's some things in the car that are left unexplored and I just need to find out where I need to go. Those are all kind of indications that, okay, sooner or later, he's going to unlock that performance because the driver feels it in the car and then it's going. The driver feels the car has potential that exists. I just have to extract it. That's not what Charles says here. And we can look at it. We can listen to it again.
How hard it is to extract the maximum performance out of the car. It's just that there's not enough performance in the car for now.
He's saying that there's not enough performance in the car as it sits right now. And also later in that press conference, he goes into not elaborate, but he goes on to make mention that he doesn't think what happened, what Lewis was able to create in that speed, in that pole positioning of the sprint, in that sprint race, he doesn't think that that's even going to be the norm. He pretty much thinks it's going to be back to what we saw in the Chinese GP, the actual race. And if that's the case, we're possibly looking at Ferrari being behind again in another weekend. We're in a triple header. So yeah, they have plenty of time to show us that they will evolve and that they will find a way to get into a situation. But we don't know if they're actually going to be able to get into that. You know, we don't know how much progress they'll actually make. Big shout out to everybody in the super chat. Big shout out. Appreciate you all. We don't know how they're going to be, how they're going to make this happen. Honestly, I'm just going to tell you, I'm a little bit concerned. All right. I'm a little bit concerned about Ferrari and their 90% of changing this car. And if that might have been the best thing for them to do. Although I do understand that Racer X210 in the super chat saying, Wolf fam, the upgrades are supposed to be updated diffuser and floor in 3 months. I will be a 3-year member of the channel. Let's go Ferrari. Oh, for sure. 3 years. Think about that. 3 years. They said we weren't going to be around for a month, bro. 3 years. That's what I'm saying, man. Shout out to Racer X210. So yeah, the upgrades are supposed to be diffuser and floor. Those are 2 big upgrades. And we got to keep it real. Those are also 2 big upgrades that when you do, and let's not even call them upgrades yet, those are 2 big updates that when you make those updates, things can go extremely wrong. Things can go extremely in the adverse direction It does not have to become an upgrade. It can become a downgrade. We've seen teams go with a new updated floor, and then they realize this floor sucks. We need to take one of these cars and go back to the previous floor, compare data, because we're not getting what we thought we would get from CFD. So what's happening? Don't get excited because Ferrari's going to bring an update. Don't get more excited than just Ferrari developing. Be completely excited when teams develop. Don't get overly excited about what you should expect from that update, because it can break your heart. It can break your heart. You can go into knowing that Ferrari's going to do this update, and then you can see them tumble down the order in fashion. And you got to think about how much money, how much time that takes. Basically, what you will have to see is they'll ditch the new updated floor. They'll go back to the previous floor. Other teams could update and turn into upgrades and take up more space in the front than Ferrari will. Paul in the super chat saying, how's the weather looking for the race weekend? Congrats, Racer X210. The weather for the race weekend, as a matter of fact, I did have that. Let me see if I can bring that up for you, brother. Weather for the race weekend. Where is it? There we go. Let me see. I can actually bring the race weather up if I still have it here. Yeah, I do still have it here. All right, so I will bring that up for you right now, brother. So let me get that in the window for you, and we can check that out and look at the weather. And as it sits right here, the Japan GP race weekend weather. Let me bring it in the screen for you. All right, so this is what you're looking at for the Japan GP. All right, here you go. This is what you're looking at for the Japan GP.
It's not about how hard
Japan
it is to
GP right
the
here.
Performance out of the car. It's
FP1.
just there's not enough
you're looking
performance
at
in the car for now.
2% possibility of rain there. And then later on, actually, because we can bring in the little clouds and stuff as well. We'll bring in the clouds so you can see that. We're not looking at as much rain as we were looking at rain as we were before. Because remember, before we were looking at possibility of rain and that coming in. Now it looks like that rain pretty much is gonna be gone. We won't have to worry about the inclement weather, but we will have to. Well, Mercedes is going to be happy because the temperature is going to be low. But you're looking at right here, 12 degrees Celsius air temp and track temp. So we're going to look. We already knew we were looking at cooler type weather as a set. We're also going to be looking at for FP2. You see right there, clouds, mostly partly cloudy, if anything. Third practice, clouds start rolling in, and then you'll see that the cloud coverage goes up to 100%. Rain risk went down to 0, but for race day, they're still anticipating maybe 60-something% rain risk, which completely is dropped. You'll see the temperature ticks up just a tad, and that you should have some head and tail winds, 3 mile an hour, which is not bad. So that's what we're kind of looking at for the GP right there, Paul. And Racer X, definitely congratulations on that. So the weather improved a bit as far as rain, because we were kind of expecting rain. And I'm going to tell you right now, you still could possibly expect rain. What's going on, Mary Beanie in the chat? Oh, yeah, by the way, man, I forgot. I found a nice little Yuki Tsunoda card. Nice little lava. Topps Chrome edition. So, you know, I've got the Yuki vibes right here, hoping that Yuki will go into this race, perform well. Now, remember what I said, if Yuki doesn't perform well, and it seems that it is consistent that the drivers that get into this very heavily Max-centric Red Bull car have a similar experience and share that commonly among each other, then Red Bull is the problem, and they may need to look at their philosophy and how they're going to go about facilitating two drivers and maybe trying to either maybe clone Max Verstappen or find somebody that just like Max Verstappen, or you go and you got to think about it. If you're going to do that, you're talking about a driver that is going to be headstrong, which I have a clip that I want to go into that somebody actually posted, And a lot of people in the comments section got it completely wrong, as if Max Verstappen was a good guy, and he wasn't. I think they misunderstood or don't hear clearly Danny Rick's voice compared to Max Verstappen's voice. But also here we have Russell, the press conference for the drivers. Russell was speaking in regards to their performance and his support from Toto and what they can kind of expect. And he also did say that Lewis Hamilton is the GOAT, and that when they were having issues, they didn't have what they needed to compete. So Russell confirming that, no, we did not have what we needed to compete last season. And still, those drivers and Lewis and Russell managed to make some things happen within, the confines of the temperature, which is what we're looking for here. Mercedes has performed well in cooler temperatures. I'm thinking that they should perform well here. Now, in comparison to other teams that have known knowledge about their cars and their data from the previous events and where they're going to take that, I don't know. Have those teams maybe outdeveloped within changes Mercedes and Mercedes fall back, or will Mercedes consistently continue to be strong in cooler climates? That is something that I think we will see. And I don't think Mercedes will receive their first challenge until we get to Bahrain, where it's going to be 33, 31 degrees Celsius. And then we get to definitely Jeddah when temperatures really tick up to 32, 33, unless those temperatures fall off. So Mercedes will receive their first challenge there for me, as far as have they developed enough from last season to this season to overcome their hot weather challenges in that car, because we saw that last season. So there's a lot of things going on here. I think this is going to be a very exciting event. As Paul was pointing out, we get a full FP sessions we get full 3 FP sessions. We're going to get full 3 qualifying sessions, traditional standard authentic weekend, which is good for the teams because now they're going to get a lot more information, a lot more data to collect. The drivers are going to get a lot more experience and a lot more wheel time in the cars. So hopefully this will result in these teams be able to take that data and that information and grow from here. We are on a schedule where we're going to be butt ton early in the morning for FP sessions, qualifying sessions, and race. So you already know I will try to get these links and these shows posted so you can go ahead and start setting your reminders. Do keep in mind that there might be some trouble, not with you, but physically with me, being able to be either right on time or just a little bit late. But either way it goes, I'm going to do my best to be there, be present. So do not be concerned about me being present at some point in time. Just know that if I can't make it exactly on time, there's a reason why, okay? And big shout out to everybody that's been sending the love, the respect, the good well wishes, checking up and asking how I'm doing. I really do appreciate it. There will be some things coming down the pipeline soon that will cause me to have to take a back seat again, maybe possibly during this entire triple header. I will see, but nothing confirmed as of yet, but it is in the works. So this season is going to be hard, not only for Ferrari and other teams and even Red Bull. It's going to be hard for me, but we will make it through the season. And hopefully by the time we get really rolling through this triple header, I'll be right back here and trying to progress from there. So we'll see what happens. Ferrari's concerning. I just think it's concerning to hear Charles have that perspective. And once again, if you didn't see the clip, I'll play the clip again for you. It's not about how hard
it is to extract the maximum performance out of the car. It's just that there's not enough performance in the car for now.
And when a driver to me said that there's not enough performance in the car, that's a little bit alarming. That kind of gives me an alarm bell. Kind of makes me feel as if I don't know if this 90% change initially is good, but it could turn out good. But I do fully respect and support the reason why Ferrari did it. And the reason why they did it is the very reason why I think we're seeing what's happening with Red Bull. And I told you all, eventually Red Bull, if they don't find a way to evolve from here into something different, they will reach their full potential, while other teams are exploring new ways to reach potential, and it could exceed Red Bull. And I think that's what we're seeing right here. And Red Bull don't have the engineering mind or minds of individuals as a collective that were chipping in and putting in information for changes on the car. And that's why I think we see them trying to make minor changes, hoping to find some way to extract performance out of their current evolution because they don't know how to evolve the car in the direction. And Adrian Newey, as somebody mentioned in the last live, said that they were going the wrong direction. Adrian Newey had said and made mention that he felt Red Bull were going in the wrong direction, and he might be proven right if we get to mid-season and we see Red Bull still tumbling. But still, Red Bull is still one of the better competing teams on the grid. What's up, Jeff? What's up, Mary? What's up, Days Quattro? What's up, Lower Chaos? They still are a top team. Don't get it twisted. I hate when people are trying to now downplay it so that when Max does something, they can say, oh, they're still a top team. It's just that you're seeing Max Verstappen can't do more with less. That's kind of what you're seeing, because a lot of people said he would be winning, and he hasn't won a race. So that is proving that. He's still in the top car, but he ain't winning races. So he's still up there, though. Max Verstappen's still making podium. I think he's still second in the drivers' championship standings. So it's not like he's gone. It's not like he's completely out of here. And remember what I did say? Maybe Red Bull can turn this around. Maybe Red Bull do find something. Maybe Red Bull make an update soon. Maybe they're working on a really big overhaul updated package. And next thing we know, we kind of see the inverse of what we saw last season, where they struggle at this part of the season and then they take off in the second part of the season, which and still Max Verstappen was able to get a driver's championship being front loaded, but can he do that being back loaded? That's the question. It puts you in a little bit deeper territory, puts you in deeper water, puts you in a lot different circumstances. And the dynamic of you trying to work your way through that is a lot different than if you got front loading, you can kind of coast on the back end versus you having trouble on the front end and then trying to just ramp it up on the back end. That's very dangerous. Okay. And that definitely could turn out wrong. So we will see what happens, but it is awesome. We will be doing everything that we have been doing, and we're going to be enjoying another event, another race. We're going to see who comes out on top now. Also, it is going to be completely exciting for me if we see 3 to 4 drivers changing preliminary pole positions. We see a new driver or a different driver winning a race. McLaren is still very strong. If Lando gets this one, or Piastri or Russell ends up winning one, or maybe Ferrari all of a sudden, because of their updates or what they've learned from China, based on what Leclerc said, and Hamilton feeling like they've found some experimental things they can go into. Maybe we see Lewis Hamilton win a race, not just a sprint race. He'll have a sprint race and a real race. Or maybe we see Charles on podium. All of those things are exciting to see these drivers change out, because that means we have a heavily competitive front top of the grid, that's what you really want in a season. You want a dogfight. You don't want a cakewalk. I mean, as a driver, you like a cakewalk because you can walk away with the driver's championship. But a dogfight really shows you who's really got what it takes, who's really the strongest within equal competitive cars and comes out on top. So that's very exciting for me. So anyway, I will see you plenty of times this weekend. Don't forget, we will be in the Wolves Den Discord on Sunday to talk about not only Yuki, because we're going to see what Yuki's going to be able to do in free practice, what Yuki's going to be able to do in qualifying, what Yuki's going to be able to do in the race. Has Liam Lawson found a little bit of comfortability going back to the junior team in a car where he did well in perspective, did well there. So there's a lot of things for us to watch this weekend in the Japanese GP. And with that being said, you all stay safe, drink your water, be healthy. Wolfpack out.